guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Kyuujin, and today we're back with you for House of Dragons, Season 2, Episode 7.
The Red Sowing.
Sowing.
We reap what we sow, right?
Yep.
Well, blood and death. So last episode, the plan to rise up the small folk in King's Landing worked. They sent food, and since they don't have none, they took the food and they started, chanting her name, and they threw fish at Alicent and Elena. So, and someone lost an arm too. Basically, they're not happy. And Aemon, when he was told that, they were getting angry, basically said, so? Yeah,
not doesn't have the ruling part to the T right now.
Well, he's good at pressuring Aegon to shut the fuck up about what happened back in, during the fight with Rhaenys, right? So Aegon is suffering on his own. Aemon is planning some stuff. He sent his armies towards Harrenhal. He's gonna face Daemon, who we at first had no armies, but now it looks like he might have a chance because the previous Lord Tully just died. So his son is gonna take over. He had a talk with that guy before, so the first introductions were done. So now he'll need to convince him. And that's a lot easier than convincing a bunch of lords, right?
Yep.
So that is going for him. Besides that, Rhaenyra got close with Mysaria, and
she felt lonely and she felt seen by her, but she still cheated on her husband. Just kiss someone else.
Yeah, but
Come on.
left. He left. In any case, they were cheering each other up, and Rhaenyra really wants to pick up a sword and fight and do something. And when there was word that they had a new dragon rider, and they don't know who it is, but it's on Sea Smoke, she was like, fuck that. If the Greens stole one of our dragons, I'm just gonna deal with that shit myself. So she left, and she's about to face one of Corlys's bastards. She doesn't know it yet, but it's him. He got kidnapped by a dragon. Other people can, in fact, ride dragons, even if they are not full-blooded Targaryens. So we need to meet with him, make sure he's still on our side, and then we'll see what happens next. Okay, but this is where we are. So let's jump in this episode and see what they have in store for us. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these episodes, and check out our Patreon for the full-length reactions.
All right, let's go.
Cool shot.
So who are you? Who the fuck are you?
Technically, it's not his fault. The dragon picked him.
Yeah, it did not have a word. I say it, and the matter, so no.
You stand before the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms with a dragon of House Targaryen.
I had no design upon it.
Yeah, no.
What do you want?
To learn the ways of dragon riders and to serve my queen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, it's in your favor. You were looking for exactly that.
Don't spit out on that, please.
What is your name?
Addam of Hull.
I need to remember. I keep forgetting his name.
You have done something I feared impossible.
And you bring hope to them.
I'm glad of it.
That means that RDI is not
Stupid.
Do you think you
Impossible,
could get him to Dragonstone?
I can try.
Just go with the flow. He went from no one knowing who he was to suddenly just speaking directly to the queen.
I wish to go out, Sir Ricard. To the Kingswood, I think.
Then I'll have the stewards prepare a retinue.
No retinue.
Like, no one should recognize her. Okay, not even that. Okay, that's risky, girl.
She feel lost?
There will be others. We will find riders for Vermithor and Silverwing.
You trust this man?
What choice do I have?
Yeah.
He has a dragon. The question is where to look.
Forgive me, Your Grace, but you are better served looking under the sheets and in the wood piles.
Like, don't look down on bastards.
How is it gonna look at the people with like lowborns riding gods in the sky?
Well, they need to change the way they see things if they want to win.
Let us raise an army of bastards.
John, you were born way too late.
You were born in the wrong era. You would have thrived then.
Well, he got a dragon easily. 2, actually.
You have a decision to make. I presume it is clear to you which is the right one.
Don't try to intimidate him because he's a kid.
We recognize the authority of the named heir, Queen Rhaenyra.
Yeah,
Not
you're not
yours.
As
queen.
your own.
Oh,
as our king consort.
Yeah, but things need to change. He's ruling on his own.
Then we shall go to face your vassals, and you will call your banners to war.
That might be difficult, my king. They'll hate you.
oh yeah, yeah. Good job on that.
To the point.
I don't need their love. I need their sword.
You at least need their respect, man.
Yeah. For a child, he's doing a good job. Facing Daemon. Because he is, like, looking down at him. It's like, now you have the power, but he's trying to intimidate.
Why should we now follow a boy younger than my own sons, when you will align with one who will desecrate the innocent to reach his aims?
I agree. I am young. And I have no love for Daemon Targaryen.
Keep going that way, kid.
I am, in the end, a riverman, and the word of my house stands, even if certain people are unworthy of it.
Family, duty, honor.
Yep.
The old ways call for justice to be done.
Justice has been done.
I am Lord Paramount of all river houses, and there is only one answer for the crimes you visited upon your neighbors.
Death?
I did only what His Grace, the King, required of me.
It is true that you did not have to pursue such savagery.
True.
You did it because you wanted to.
Yep.
He has guts. I'm gonna give him that.
Your Grace, command them. I've only served you.
He has to make a choice, and he's not loyal to this guy. He wants his army.
He must now rectify his grievous error, denounce your crimes, and dispense justice.
It literally is the only guy here who followed him. He's just like, yeah.
No. This is yours, Your Grace. I've been faithful.
He needs his army.
He needs it, but
It's his fault still. Directly, he asked him to do that. Yes, of course, he didn't say the details.
The thing with Daemon is less his orders to be interpreted to their will.
He knew exactly what Blackwood was going to do when given the order.
Yeah.
He insinuated it, and now he has to
pay the consequence.
What is this?
I never wanted it. I was right not to. All that pain it caused.
So much pain.
learn a thing or two about that Daemon. Like, Rhaenyra's not lucky to be heir or queen now.
You always wanted it, Daemon. Do you want it still?
Wanting to be king and the responsibilities of king is what led him to behead the guy who followed him. It's the sacrifices, it's the guilt, the heavy burden.
Is he walking?
Trying, yeah. Oh. Jesus Christ, give him a better crunch.
No.
To be fair, Laris is connecting with Aegon through the disability.
Yeah.
I am thinking he's doing that mostly because he wants to use him in the end. But
your progress is impressive. But I'm afraid you must work harder.
yeah, Aemon's not listening. He needs him back.
Let him try again in a few hours.
He needs him back in power.
It will be long before he may rest again.
Because I feel like him, he can manipulate. Especially now that he connects. Aemon, there's no getting close.
Aemon is on edge in his decision. He doesn't want to listen to anyone.
I will retire now, Sir Rickard.
Well, she fucking left and stayed in the woods. They're camping out. Okay.
I mean,
does
the
your
court
grace
isn't
mean to
near there
return to
right
the
now.
city?
I'm not yet certain I do.
They won't even notice she's gone, and that's worse.
I'm guessing that she does feel lost and she needs
The
another purpose.
Dragons. These people are courageous. Mongrels.
Let's say you're a bastard too, man. Hmm? It does sound like now anyone can be a dragon rider, right?
But I mean,
What if one of your base-born, silver-haired dragon riders decides he wants to rule the Seven Kingdoms?
What else would you have me do?
Because with his hair and everything, they already question his claim.
I mean, if bastards can have dragons, people will.
Yeah, but he's putting too much faith in dragons. Yes, they are a symbol, but if all you are is your dragon, then you're no one, man. You need to be strong on your own as a person.
Did you think I would have dark hair?
Considering she has dark hair in the books, I'm assuming she did.
And I mean, Rhaenys was supposed to have dark hair
Calm and
also.
strong into your bed. Did you think I might favour him, or did it not cross your mind?
Jacaerys.
I'm no fool, Mother. Yet I may argue my legitimacy to succeed you because I have a dragon. And now you say you'll strip that from me too.
That's the only thing that made him special. Like, see, I am a Targaryen because I have a dragon.
Yeah.
But now, if anyone can be a dragon rider... So in that case, yes, he is everything because of his dragon. Because without it, he's a bastard.
I dislike all of this.
Then don't pursue it.
But I cannot gainsay that which the gods have laid before me.
A chance.
It's breaking my heart.
Yeah, but you won't have a throne if you don't win the war, kid. Like, this won't matter if you die. It's difficult, it sucks, but she has no choice. Rhaenyra's soundtrack because she's on the move.
Sully, she's supporting the Reds with her cape. Real subtle though.
They'll get the bastards, they'll get, yep.
Rhaenyra is recruiting small folk to go to Dragonstone. They're looking for Targaryen bastards.
A bunch of them.
Boats leave tonight.
Well, that's a shame, because my leg hasn't been the same.
Touched.
He's afraid now, he's got a chance and he's just...
Unless he lied.
I can't be sure it's all true.
It's just stories and hearsay, maybe.
Come on, Ulf, the time has come.
Own up to your words.
Yes, there he is! Yes!
Why?
Peer pressure led him to this. Better hope it was true.
I don't want you to go.
He's
He's
also
also what?
So that's why they've been showing him a lot.
Ah.
I could not keep our girl alive.
She died.
And now, we would never want again.
I do not care to be a lady, Hugh.
Because he could
She
die.
wants you to be alive. She wants you.
And neither do I want to be a widow.
But it's also, if he goes and claim a dragon, he's a part of the war then.
I have to do something.
Yeah. It's like he didn't do anything before when she was saying we need to go. Now, well... It's cool though in a way.
And they're like, yeah, he does.
It's
Yeah, he
full.
does.
It's full of Targaryen bastards. It's a bit like Starbucks, the movie, right? We're finding brothers and sisters everywhere. Compared to the reality of King's Landing right now, this is peaceful. I guess he or she can be herself.
Petatiri Rudax. Sir Toli Jikilu. Saldrizesi Voskiziisi. Kiapot Mentani Sosi Daor. Vakejot Rakilos Daor.
I guess we're losing you. She has no freaking choice. Do you all want to die?
Fine, I'll do it myself then.
Kathleen Stark would have a heart attack being in this room. She needs to do this, man. She trusts
I love
them.
her dress.
She's about to ask them to risk their lives. She needs to trust them.
Yeah. By the way, I love her dress.
Each of you has left behind a life to answer this call. A life to which you might never return. If you survive, you will be transformed. Some of you may welcome the prospect of change, even death, given the alternatives. This is our purpose, to end those hardships. For you, for all the realm. With these two dragons, the enemy will have no choice but to give way, and peace will be restored.
Might also lead to the rebellion of the Blackfires.
Which one?
All of them.
The dragon, named Vermithor, is the largest in the world, after Vega.
We need this one.
Perhaps the most fierce. He's called the Bronze Fury. We'll go to him now.
It's like, it's stressful. Because they're not all gonna walk out of there, lucky or not. It was a really good speech though.
I will just say that she's better than the Green in that regard because she's talking to the small folk.
Because she has no choice.
She has no choice, but still, she's taking them into consideration.
Let's see it rise behind her. Holy shit! Does one of you feel a connection? And even for her, it's dangerous. It's not because you rode one dragon that the other's not gonna kill you.
It's true.
Cool shots. It's a really cool shot.
I have nothing more to tell you. It must be the dragon who speaks.
No, good luck. She's just leaving them, like, bye. Okay, at least. I was like, she's not.
If you ask kill your own people to die for your cause, the least you can do is just to be there with them.
Yeah, I'm actually glad she came back. He's got nothing to lose. Unfortunately.
Your Grace, we must away.
She asked him to do this.
Oh shit.
Wow, okay, great.
Oh my god.
She knows she did this. It was her order. He must suck. Ulf fell, and he's still alive. He's gonna get the dragon. I'm just claiming it. He wants him to work for it.
Oh shit.
It's a horror show, Nelson. He's got freaking balls. Please don't, please don't. Oh, thank you.
Saving her life.
He's brave. Don't.
I'm ready.
He looks like a Viking. Dragon's like, whoa. Is it working? He's the Bronze Fury. Maybe you need to be like just as crazy as he is.
I mean, you did say that blood aside, maybe the character can have an effect with the dragon, so you got it.
Hey, do the thing.
I think it's working.
Come on, don't die. Until he touches a great shot. My god, the shots this episode. Touch him. I can't relax until you touch him. Is it Rhaenyra up there?
Yeah.
Silhouette shades are.
Seriously, they're really going all out with the cinematography this season, right?
Well, this episode specifically.
Yeah, we got another one.
Well, they put the focus on two, so that's why I'm like, I expect these two. I thought maybe Ulf would be the one to get this one because he fell, but he'll get the other one.
Flee into the cave, so you might have another one.
You'll get the other one. But like this guy who looks like a freaking Viking, it makes sense he'd get the bigger one. And there it is. Oh,
an egg?
you start the relationship like this?
Not good, buddy. Not good.
Sorry? He kind of owes it to his fans to succeed here. We're fine. We're friends. It went straight for him. Get away, I need to check my kids. It's curious. Hey,
yeah, Silverwing.
The other one like took the challenge head on. He's just like lucky at this point. Maybe it's because he fell in that and he walked in an egg. He smells like dragons.
He smells like a baby.
Did he come back to be like, fuck you all? I don't think it's a full-on attack. Yeah, it is him. He's got balls too. Like, he knows Vhagar is around here.
Yeah.
Open the gate!
He is just showing off.
So now we got Cyrax, Caraxes, Sea Smoke, Vermithor, Silverwing. And how many do they have?
This big thing.
Vhagar and Dreamfire with the Elena.
Yeah, but I've never seen her on it, so Will she go and fight?
Did he went to Kisling to play bait or just by accident?
Maybe, I don't think bait. They have a bunch of dragons now, man. You need to be more careful. She looks fierce.
Get the fuck away! Come on. Bring it on.
This episode was too short, man. It went by so fast. What a great episode. I'm sorry. I really enjoyed the cinematography
I
of
love
this one.
the horror part where they were just trying to flee from Vermithor in the cave.
Everything, like, from the moment her speech was already really good, and then the whole way they shot, her facing the dragon, and then managing to connect, turning her back on it, facing the others, and being
her position reminds me of the cover of the first season when she was younger with Sarax in the background, but now she's older, she's more assured, she has more confidence.
Although it is always a challenge to face any dragon. Like, yours is yours. You have a connection with it. Once you've wrote on it, I guess that's for life, right? But anyone else's dragon, if they have a temper, they could turn on you, probably. Although I would say maybe, like, if it's about character, maybe all dragons can sense, like, oh, okay, you're a dragon rider, you've already earned respect, so it might be easier for them. Like, they've done it before, so they can go again. But it's always risky to face a dragon if it's not your own, especially. They are wild beasts, right? They answer to no one. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, the Targaryens have tamed dragons, but in reality, the Targaryens managed to gain their respect enough to create partnerships, but the dragons do whatever they want. They choose whoever they want. They don't care about your lineage, your who your parents and stuff. I'm guessing they sense that you have Targaryen blood. Maybe that's one part of it. They sense you're good enough for them.
But I mean,
they go for you.
You need the Targaryen blood because you have the old Valyria magic with the Targaryen blood.
But not all Targaryens are, safe facing dragons, because otherwise all these bastards would not have died. Because, like, being a bastard doesn't change anything for a dragon. Despite how people see this, like, oh, they're lowborn, the dragons don't care. But what
I meant to say
but a
is
bastard could have more Targaryen. Let me finish. A bastard could have more Targaryen blood than, or just the same amount of Targaryen blood as another Targaryen. Especially, like, not those that were born from, like, brother-sister marriage and stuff. Like, the Targaryens that made alliances, kind of like Rhaenys is part Baratheon, right? Her blood is as divided as someone whose father went into a brothel and had a child.
Sure.
So even though you're a bastard for the dragon, the birth doesn't fucking matter. It's about the blood and the character, I think.
What I meant to say is you cannot be a dragon rider without Targaryen blood, but it doesn't mean that you should be a dragon rider even with Targaryen blood. You understand?
Well, like I said, it comes down, I think, to character. Like, they need to, just like Vermithor and Hugh, right? Vermithor saw a bunch of freaked out people. He smelled them, and he was like, yeah, okay, I recognize the blood, but I guess when it came down, like, to their character, they were too afraid. And, I mean, those that became dragon riders had self-confidence in a way. Like the brother Addam, who became a dragon rider, not by choice, but still, he's always been saying, I deserve more than I got. Like, he wanted to go out and get it. Hugh made this sacrifice because he's already made a mistake that cost him his daughter's life. He did nothing back then, and now he can't just do it again, like make the same mistake. He decided to do something. He went there, and when he saw all the destruction, he sacrificed himself for someone else. He was strong and powerful enough to be like, hey, look at me. And he looked at the dragon not as a potential dragon rider. He was like, I'm ready, like, fucking kill me if you want to at this point. He faced him without fear. I guess Vermithor liked it. All freaked out in the end. He needed, like, his pals to convince him to show up. But he was also proud of his potential lineage, and he told those stories and stuff. Like he had this character that I would say like he viewed himself as higher maybe than others viewed him. Right? It's not like for them. It's not because you're a bastard that you should disappear and no one should look at you ever again. Like it's hard for bastards, I guess, to have the true strength of character that may be necessary for dragons, because from birth they've been told they are lower than dirt and they don't deserve anything. So, but then Hugh was the one that needed to do it for his family. He worked for he made his way up. Everything was about like what he was capable of doing for his wife and child. He already made that mistake, so he was even more determined to show his potential. Ulf has already been boasting. Addam was also like, he saw himself as more like, I deserve more. It's not because I'm a bastard. The three of them saw themselves as more than bastards. They had self-confidence, born from different places, but still I'm guessing this is what helped. And it could depend on the dragon as well. But the other poor like people that showed up there, in a way they knew what they were facing. It is still sad to see that when they were running away, the guards were stopping them from leaving because they were there for a purpose, and Rhaenyra gave the order. At first I thought she was leaving because she wasn't going to be able to face their deaths. In a way, I'm glad she came back. Like she stepped away so she wasn't going to be in danger. But she still decided to watch it all happen because it was her decision.
I'm glad that she did, because she wouldn't have my respect if she did not stand there with them while they were just risking their lives.
Yeah, you make the order, and now these people are dying for you. You at least owe it to them to watch them in their last moments.
I will just say though, it is one thing to know the possibility of your possible death by facing a dragon. It's another one to just face one and see, oh my god, I'm gonna burn alive by dragon fire.
They come from King's Landing. They've seen dragons before. Yeah, okay, maybe you never truly were in that position. To see one up close like this is a lot different. But a lot of these people had nothing. Like she said it best, Rhaenyra. Like she did a great speech. But a lot of these people had nothing to go back to. They were stuck in King's Landing. A lot of them maybe were prostitutes. Some of them were beggars, like people that have no life, bastards from birth, like with already no way up in the hierarchy ladder and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you do after that? You come back to King's Landing and you starve? Like for a lot of these people, it was death or this. It's a traumatizing moment. It's a terrifying death, and it's a painful one too. But they were never given a chance, and now Rhaenyra calls for them. It's like all your life you think that you're not going to be worth anything, and then suddenly a queen says, I need you. It's a big moment, and they all felt that pull, but not all of them were strong enough maybe to face it. And unfortunately, even if they were strong enough, there's only 2 dragons. Not everyone is going to connect. Like even like I said, true-born Targaryens who were raised with dragons and have been told how to do this, sometimes it doesn't work out. Like you need to connect with the dragon. And I guess each dragon has something they're looking for. Vermithor, I think, was looking for someone so freaking strong that he stood on his own 2 feet facing him and he was like, okay, yeah, let's go. Do it. And then for Ulf and Silverwing, I don't really know. He just stepped in there and he was like, whoa. I don't know anything about that dragon's character, but like I said, the connection I see between Addam, Ulf, and Hugh is that the 3 of them had something to...
We're aspiring to something bigger.
We're aspiring for something bigger, not necessarily for themselves, because Hugh wasn't doing it for him. He was doing it for his wife. Like, he had to do this. For him, it was like this or nothing. I guess he wanted it a lot, and it just showed. And he had a freaking good heart, too, because not everyone would be like, face me, dragon, not the others. So that I really enjoyed. I thought Ulf, who fell at first, was going to be the one stuck with Vermithor, and I was sure Ulf was going to get one. Hugh was a surprise. I didn't know he was a Targaryen.
But I'm glad that he got Vermithor.
It fits more, and he's going to be the one they expect to go against Vhagar the most, I guess, because he's got the bigger dragon.
Right after them, yeah.
Yeah. The thing though is that I mean, Jace kind of had a point. You know, I was talking about how you need to see your own worth as a person. If you only rely on the dragons, what happens if you don't have your dragon?
I mean, the only claim that he could have for himself was the fact that I'm a true Targaryen of pure blood because I have a dragon.
To me, I mean, I know it's not the way things are back then, but to me, it's how things are today. His royalty, his lineage, his Targaryen blood doesn't come from his father or his potential father. It comes from his mom. Even if it was Lenore, his Targaryen blood, his legacy would come from Rhaenyra. So there's no disputing that. But in this world, if you're a bastard, you don't deserve anything. And the biggest mistake Rhaenyra made...
Sorry, but Lenore had Targaryen blood through his mom. So he would have Targaryen blood from both parents.
Yes,
he was Lenore's son.
It's true, it's true. But still, he was a Velaryon, right? Like, when it comes down to the name, it's Rhaenyra who gave him the crown, the throne, everything, the heritage, the name even, because the name is supposed to change when he gets to the throne, right?
Yeah.
Technically, if you're a bastard in this world, you don't deserve anything, no matter who your parents are. So, and Rhaenyra being a woman, the biggest mistake she did was continuing to say that both Luke and Jace were trueborn.
And Joffrey.
Because everyone can see that's not true. And it's kind of like she's making a mockery of those that are saying, like, obviously, I have eyes, girl, like, I can, obviously it's not like Lenore. She's making a mockery of this a little bit, and that's her biggest mistake. As soon as she had trueborn children from Daemon, she should have been like, okay, well, the crown could go to them, right? Like, that would secure her claim a lot more. Or she could also be like, okay, I'll admit they're bastards, but as queen, she can legitimize them, which would also bring a lot of issues. There will always be issues, and actually, since now there's already, like, Jace aside, between Rhaenyra and Aegon, there's already a feud between who deserves the throne more, so even if she wins the war, and Jace would be the, like, blonde-haired Targaryen child they all expect, and no one would be questioning his legacy, there would still be people saying that Aegon's line should have been the one.
Yeah.
And now, he's got a point when he says that, basically he just admitted that his own insecurities and his understanding that he's a bastard and people won't take him seriously and his claim will be questioned, his insecurity came to the surface by him saying that. Because it is true, by saying now that everyone can get on dragons, people will be saying, well, that doesn't make you special, so what do you have? You're a bastard. I don't want you on the throne.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're gonna want to put other bastards on the throne either, though. So that's just his insecurity speaking. What it could do, though, is lead to the Blackfire Rebellion. Because you give power to bastards I mean, if until then all you believed was that only trueborn Targaryens could get dragons, and now you say other bastard Targaryens can get one.
Any bastards could have one, yeah.
That basically will lead to maybe Blackfires being like, well, see, I could be just as strong as Targaryens.
The only thing that I'm worried, though, is the fact that people who were not brought up into this knowledge, who did not grow up with dragon riders knowledge, and old Valyrian knowledge, having a dragon like Ulf, Addam, and Hugh, Hugh. I mean, you expect them to understand that dragons are not pets, are not tool for you to use.
You think that's gonna change?
Maybe. What can you do if you have suddenly a big ass dragon under your control? Do
you truly think that you could look a dragon in the face and be like, yeah, I could use that as a tool? I think that a lot of these people were saying, I have nothing, and she's offering a dragon. This is a great opportunity, and they went for it. But when you face a dragon this big, and you see the power of the beast, I don't think you can look at that and be like, yeah, I could control that. Maybe if you do it like Aemon, like you do it so young and people are like, wow, you did something no one did before, like so good and stuff. And then you have time to grow with that dragon, things change. But trueborn Targaryens who grew up with the histories of old Valyria and stuff already are doing that. Like the whole idea that, oh yeah, like we've seen those Targaryens with their own dragons. and it's sweet. Like I know Aegon, when he went to his dragon right before he fell, he was treating him almost like a dog. And I know the actor said something about how when he imagines his dragon, he imagines his own pet, his own dog, like the link between them.
We're just saying people that Aegon and Sunfire has maybe
they have a big bond,
the big bond, like brother bond or something like that.
Well, they all have big bonds with their dragons. With him, it's interesting because he doesn't speak Valyrian that good.
It's funny though because he had classes when he was younger and
he never paid attention. But Sunfire listens still in English, so that's where the bond comes in. But
you mean the commands. Common tongue.
Well,
they're not speaking English.
They are in this show. They are. In any case, they are so close to their dragons. Sometimes they get to see them as pets, and maybe after that it gets harder or easier maybe to forget that dragons are dangerous beasts. Viserys had the conversation with Rhaenyra in season 1 about how, do you think we rule over dragons? And she was like, nope, I think we're lucky that we get to have this and stuff. Like, she understood it, but it's important to keep saying that. In that way, maybe, yes, this knowledge of you're not the ones ruling over dragons will disappear. But then again, a couple, 100 years in the future, the dragons will get so small, they will be looked at like less than tools at this point.
But I mean, they're gonna get small because there's no more magic in Westeros, right?
So it's already, I mean, it's an issue, but it's only an issue when that person gets overconfident and then goes and faces another dragon. Those that they are already using them as tools of war. The speech they made, like those that handle the dragons, they said about how dragons should not be used as weapons and stuff. That's a great speech, but unfortunately it's been years and years since those ways changed, man. It's just now it's the War of Dragons. It's actually war and you need them. I guess he never saw war with dragons, but what are you gonna do? Just like you use a horse in battle, you have a dragon, you're gonna use the dragon. And I think it's because they understand how terrifying and destructive they are that they decide to use those dragons.
But it's also the fact that they're the only thing that you have left of the old Valyria, the old magic. So you should respect them and use them as tool for this war. Just so irrespectful.
Yeah, but unfortunately, who's going to be the first one to be like, yeah, okay, I have a dragon, but I'm not going to use him in war, when the other one has a dragon too and he's using it?
Yeah.
So it's not
Rhaenyra, issue, right?
It's not Rhaenyra's fault. It comes down to how they see, because I think what bothered the guy more was that she was asking bastards, lowborn, to try and get on a dragon, because for them it's this sacred thing that dragons are gods and only true-born dragon lords can get on dragon. It's the lore, it's the legend and stuff. And if you send low-born people, that I said Catelyn Stark would have had a heart attack in a room surrounded by bastards, but it's not too crazy because it's true. The highborn in Westeros, they look down on bastards like they're the plague.
Yeah.
They are an insult to their gods. Like they are to be spit on and ignored and sent away. Like, it's so intense and it's deep in their bones. Even Rhaenyra was like, I don't know, but she has no choice. She's desperate. So you ask them to ride on gods, it's kind of like you're spitting on the legacy.
It's like a mockery, yeah.
Yeah, but that's because they view bastards as less than dirt. I see them as people with their own character, their own story. We care for them just as much as we do the highborns. And Mysaria had a good point too. Who's the one that started the war? The lowborn or the highborn?
Highborn.
Who's creating all the trouble?
The lowborn or the highborn?
Yeah.
Highborn. And I just love what who that's his name?
Hugh,
sorry. I just love what Hugh's mother told him, that there's nothing that differences her and her brother Viserys and Daemon,
except vows.
Except vows.
Which, I mean, when you're deeply religious, in those days especially, that makes it like your union. Basically, when you unite with someone, again, in front of the gods, and then you have a child, that child is blessed by the gods. But if you do it without the gods' blessing, that child then becomes a curse. So that's why they reject bastards. But for someone who, I mean, for a mom especially, you have a child out of wet bounds, right? Out of wedlocks?
Wedlock,
yeah. Out of wedlocks. And
wet bounds?
You're gonna love that child even if he's a bastard, hopefully. you're gonna love that child. Like you had that child the same way other mothers will have their children. You'll raise them the same. That person, like, you take away his name, he gets to grow up, have a job, like, do the best he can to survive. Like, he's really no different, except he doesn't get the opportunities. And in my opinion, not all the bastards, Ramsay Bolton, but a lot of bastards actually, to me, understand the world better than highborns and have a better sense of life and values because they've had it hard from the beginning. It doesn't happen like in the best way. They're not sheltered from the harshness of the world, so that makes them, like, when they say they're loyal, they mean it. Like, when they follow you, they mean it. It's to them, it's everything, right? You finally throw them something, they'll owe it to you, and they'll truly be grateful for the look you gave them. But a highborn expects those breadcrumbs. He expects more than breadcrumbs. He expects the whole freaking, like, loaf. So someone who already expects greatness, expects, like, the applause and the praise and everything, you give them that, they're not going to be grateful. They expected it. But someone who never had it, you put some importance on them. I'm hoping that the way they were raised and the way they lived will make it so that they'll be a lot grateful and they will follow you with true emotions, true purpose, true loyalty.
That it's not gonna get through their heads?
This is my hope. And I think it makes sense for bastards. Like I said, it's not always the case. Sometimes it goes crazy. But this is a reason why I like Jon Snow so much, right? He was raised with highborns, but he was constantly reminded of his status, and he was constantly told, like, you're the bastard of Winterfell, right? You don't deserve anything. And he had to grow up with someone who had everything and was raised to be a lord, when he was just reminded that everything that your life will lead to is the walls. So enjoy. And he became someone who could understand the small folk, both the highborn and the small folk, who could live, like, on the two sides, and he made, in my opinion, decisions that were not always great, but still always, like, he led with his heart, and he always tried to include as many people as possible, because he used to be part of those that no one thinks about always, right? So, well, I mean, in that case, I'm glad. Like, Hugh and Ulf, I mean, we've seen him boast, so we don't really know about his true character, but Hugh at least seems like a very good person, and I'm glad he didn't die. I'm glad he got a dragon.
But I mean, I don't know much about his character, so I may be a little bit worried that having a dragon might come up high in his head.
Hugh?
Ulf, maybe. Sorry. I don't know much about his character, so I'm a bit scared about what he's gonna do next with a dragon now.
Like, yeah, I don't know about him. Hugh, I'm glad. I'm really glad. Ulf, I expected, but considering he was already telling big tales, and he was taking advantage of it because he was, people were paying him drinks and stuff, it might go to his head. I don't know if he's the one that said, like, let's go to King's Landing and show off, or if it was the plan, like, to send a message.
Yeah.
But still, the fact that he's the one that was like, hey, to people in King's Landing, is like,
It's fitting a bit.
It did send a big message, because Aemon, the guy who's afraid of nothing with Vhagar, tried to go to Dragonstone, and he was like, nope. He understood. He was like, oh, okay, now I need to think.
They got a bunch of dragons now.
Yeah. Speaking of strength and of character and balls of steel, we need to talk about what happened in
that
Harrenhal.
new Lord Tully. Man, you're gonna be a great lord. If you continue in that way, you're gonna be great.
Well, his house will continue to flourish and everything, for sure. But I will say it was a great choice to have him be so small next to Daemon, because Daemon towered over him, and he was imposing, and he's strong as a warrior.
But it just shows you that character, you can be older, you can be taller, but doesn't mean that you're a great man, or that you're wiser, and that you have strength, inner strength. That child, that teenager, is so small compared to Daemon, but he's so tall with his inner strength.
He had faith in what his grandfather taught him and the values of his family, and he was surrounded by people who respected his name, and he needed to be strong enough to face Daemon, and he did. That's the exact same the exact same thing that happened with those who face the dragons in Dragonstone, right? It comes down to you facing someone bigger, stronger than you, that's imposing, and you need to be strong enough to stay upright, stand your ground, and just do your thing. And he did. It was magnificent, man. It's crazy because it put so much stress on Daemon to have to behead the only guy who followed him and literally treated him more like a king than a king consort, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't think he wants to be that type of man that, promises stuff to someone and then turns around and beheads them. Like, his word means something to him, but unfortunately, he has been going off the rail a lot, and he's been saying, and that's the thing, he's usually capable of pushing away the consequences whenever something happens, and he twists it around, but in this case he couldn't. You did order Lord Blackwood to do what he did to the Bracken. You can twist it and be like, I didn't order you to do as much.
It was heavily implied.
Yeah, it was heavily implied, and the guy was literally his servant, and he was swearing up to him, and he followed him. But he needed to face the consequences. So you won't face consequences technically yourself, being king, consort, and being Daemon Targaryen. Like, they can't do shit to you. But if you want your army, you're gonna have to still do something to pay. And in this case, it was that. But it shook him, and I'm glad, because he needs to learn that his words have consequences. And it's not because he disregards others and he gives them the heavy, the hard jobs, and he's never the one that does it, but he sends others to do his bidding, thinking that he's gonna be safe from the repercussions. But in this case, it's not true, and he needs to learn it. He needs to learn it hard so he doesn't do it in the future. So that little lord, man, he did some good, and everything visually, and from the age to the height to the voice to the presence and the way they were shot, showed that the Lord Tully, because I forgot his name, was truly less powerful than Daemon. Yet somehow we grew so much. Like a switch of camera going from there to there would have been amazing. But yeah, it felt like he was the one in power, and he truly was. And that's something I've said about Daemon before. He underestimates those that surround him all the time. He underestimates respect and power. He sees himself as so big with his name and his dragon and what he believes he deserves, that he forgets to respect the others.
I mean, it's just said that he doesn't need or care for the people to love him. True, people could not love you if you're a ruler, but they should at least respect you as a ruler. And if you don't do things to gain their respect, you're not gonna amount to much.
Like, it's one thing when you have your dragon, you're facing them and you're forcing them to follow you, but in this case you didn't. It was about you, and yes, they want to follow Rhaenyra because that's the oath that House Tully gave and everything. But Rhaenyra's not here. Right now you're representing her, and right now they hate you. If they decided to step away, they could. That's basically what they told him. Stop expecting stuff from us and start working for our allegiance. Because, man, the way he's been doing things is wrong, and it's a team effort. And if you're not working like a part of that team, it's just not gonna work.
Do you think that with his last vision of his brother sick, tired with the crown, he got maybe a bit of clearance about the fact that he shouldn't want that much the crown for himself? Maybe that the crown is a burden for my wife, and I should support her more. Maybe
it's important to show Viserys when he's saying that, looking like that, because it's kind of like the consequences of the throne, right? It's the cuts from the throne that led him to have sepsis, or whatever. I don't remember what the illness was, but it's the throne that did this, and the weight of the crown destroyed him. He lost his brother. He had to make the hard choices and stuff. So him looking destroyed like that made sense for when he would look at Daemon and be like, "This crown, I never wanted it. And you shouldn't want it either, but do you still want it?" Because that's after he had to behead someone who followed him. He made a hard decision. You either stay loyal to someone who claimed that he was following you, someone who declared for you, or you do the sacrifice in order to get your army. It shook him emotionally, which, I mean, in a way it is a bit crazy, because I would have expected Daemon not to care, but it looked like he cared. So now, question yourself. This is what it means to be king. Sometimes having to make the hard decisions. You can't just do whatever you want. For Daemon, it's always been about himself. Being king means thinking about others. You need to think of the future. The future means you need to have an army, and having an army means you need to appease the lords that are leading this army. It's not just about you. So that's what it means to be king. He hasn't done that. But now, doing this, it's like a little insight as to what it means to have the crown. So do you still want it? That was great. That was great. I don't know if he's got an answer for that yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I thought it was, I mean, a lot of people have been complaining about Daemon's time in this season. Like, all he's been doing is having visions. Like, that's it. He's been doing nothing else.
He's on a character quest.
Yeah, but that's the thing. On the character side of this, like, if you look at it from like a psychological point of view, from the psychological side of this whole story, it's a great, character change. It's an evolution of who Daemon was. It's, I think, needed. Even if sometimes it gets boring because there's nothing happening, everything means so much for Daemon as a character. I think we need to see this, and he needs to see this and work through it. But still, eventually he'll go back to fighting, but maybe as a better person.
He's already on the right path, so it's nice. It's fine.
Yeah.
Speaking
Just like
about
Alicent,
looking
too.
for answers, Alicent.
I wasn't expecting her to just go camp out in the woods. I thought she was gonna go take a ride and think, but nope, she's literally like, they don't need me in King's Landing.
To get out.
Yeah, I think it got too much. She's surrounded by people who disrespect her, disregard her, just don't think about her. She did so much for them, and now they don't care. I kind of guess it's sort of like a rebellion. Like, if they don't need me, might as well leave. But it's also a chance for her to be away from the expectations, be away from the responsibilities for a while, and just focus and center on herself. What do you want, right? As a person, what do you care about? What do you want?
It's a huge slap in the face when you've been sacrificing so much for so long for your family, your realm, for your duty basically, and at the end of it, this is what you get for it. Nothing.
Yeah, might as well like take a moment to try and remember the Alicent that used to be. I guess I think this is what she's doing. She's trying to find herself again in the midst of all the chaos, but it's impossible to do that when she's surrounded by those who make mistakes around her, right? She feels like she has to try and change things, but now like there's no purpose to being there, so might as well be in a place where she can think, and maybe just like Daemon, maybe that's gonna change her, and she's gonna come back stronger and different.
It's nice. I did not think about it, but when she was underwater and she just took off her robes, she was in pure white undergarment,
stripped of who she was,
stripped of her colors, stripped of who she's supposed to represent. She's just Alicent.
Yep, true. Yeah, true. In any case, did we talk about everyone?
I think we did.
More or less, yeah.
Oh, Aegon.
Well, what's to say about Aegon? He's trying to get on his feet. Like, Larys is trying to push him because I think he can't speak to Aemon. He can't get anywhere with Aemon.
Aemon is listening to no one. Like you said the last episode, he is so overconfident that he thinks that your opinions are not needed.
I know, but Larys is trying to get somewhere, and he needs to manipulate those in power to do so. And Aemon is seeing the manipulation, and he's not letting it happen. But Aegon is vulnerable, and like through their disabilities, they can connect. And I think he truly did connect with Aegon, but he's doing that so that Aegon can come back on the throne and then be grateful to Larys and give him what he thinks he deserves.
That's a manipulation thing, yeah.
It's definitely for Larys. It's always been for Larys, but for Aegon, it's a good thing that he's not just wasting away in the bed. Like, he's trying to get back on his feet. It sucks to see him like this, but I don't want him to just disappear, right? We need him to try again a little bit. It's hard, especially so soon after the accident, but that's the only thing he can do.
All right.
In any case, so that's going to be it for this episode. Only the finale left, the queen who ever was. So, we're going to have to do this, even though it means we're going to have to wait 3 years for the season 3. I'm excited to see how they'll end it, but yeah, thanks for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the full-length reaction to this episode, it is on Patreon already. You can check it out. The link is in the description below.
Alright, thank you guys for watching and see you for the finale of season 2
in a couple days.
See ya.
Bye.